One of my favorite questions. The next time I talk to God. Favorite questions. I wish we could do that to ourselves as we got older, right? Hey, I'm Tony, head of production at Josmo. I've been working with Live Edge for over 15 years now. People have been asking me different sort of questions all these years, and we thought it'd be a nice idea to sort of put this all into one video. So I'm gonna answer the most frequently asked questions about Live Edge. Right, so what is Live Edge? Live Edge is exactly what it sounds like. It's a raw piece of slab. It's uncut, it's unfinished. It's actually finished, but it's unfinished in terms of its edge. Because most manufacturers will take pieces of wood, will cut off the live edge, make it into a square, because we like in general things that are rectangles and square. Not us at Josmo. We like some things to be natural. So it's basically this organic shape. It's sexy, it's nice. It is what it is. It's nature. Nature doesn't have any straight lines. Nature is all about curvy. One of the most commonly asked questions is, what is Parotta? Parotta is rain tree. We think it's indigenous to India, but in actuality it's not. It is a foreigner. It's an alien species, just like me. But we've learned to call India home for a long, long time. Now, the tree was brought in by the Portuguese. This is the sort of the widest trees that you can find out there. As you know, in India, we don't have a lot of sustainable forestry. Maybe you didn't know that, but you know that today. So it's very difficult to find timber. And for woodworkers, we are usually working with indigenous timbers. And so is Parotta, but Parotta has learned to grow in India. And now it is, it likes our air, it likes our weather, it likes everything about the country. So it gives us the least amount of movement, and it gives us these white slabs. Where does the live edge come from? This is one of the most commonly asked questions. Well, most of these trees are felled trees. That means they come from road widenings or developments. We at Josmo do not go and say, hey, I like that tree, can you cut it? That doesn't happen by us. Now, we are also asked, is it local? Well, the timber is local, but as a species it's not. It was brought in by the Portuguese. This was brought in hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but because I guess it was brought in actually from the South America to here and grown over Southeast Asia. But I think because on the equator we're on the same line, the tree generally likes the climate. So it's got one of the biggest canopies. That makes it one of the widest ones. Every time there's one fallen, we are called and we try to pick up as much as we possibly can, because it takes us about 9 months to cure this. So it's a long process between the cut and finally what you see in front of you. Another question that I'm asked is, can live edge tables last a long time? Well, if we do our jobs right, it'll probably outlive us and maybe 1 or 2 generations after us, right? It's timber. It technically doesn't sort of decay by just sitting there. It takes us a long time to dry this. Once cut, it air dries for 3 months. Post that, we go into a KD plant. It air dries there for 3 months, and then I bring it out again, and it again air dries for another 3 months. So we've got about 6 months of air drying, 3 months of forced induction, heat induction air drying. So that's 9 months. We lose about 60 to 70 odd% of the moisture from the timber. If I can put that in a kilo wise, let's say the slab cost is about 100 kilos. And once the entire drying process is done, the slab will come down to maybe half its weight, 40 kilos, 50 kilos, 60, but it's usually in that range. But we lose a lot of weight by drying. And we also make sure that we sort of, like you see all the butterflies that I've shown in my earlier videos, the bow ties, we make sure that we put this in the right way, exactly where the cracks are coming, so that the cracks don't follow onwards, and it makes it a really stable timber. To be honest, the only thing that can sort of damage these tables is not taking care of the surface properly, right? And or if there was a fire, because there is wood, it'll burn. But in genuine, if you sort of clean it properly, don't use any chemicals on it, because we don't use any chemicals on it to finish it in the first place, it will probably last ever. And then the beauty of it is that because of its thickness, right? Say it's damaged little bit, man, just sand it down, polish it again, and it's brand new. I wish we could do that to ourselves as we got older, right? Just wash us down with a bit of polish, and we use 28 loose or 20 years on ourselves. Another question that I get is, why are there cracks in the table and what are these weird joints in these cracks? Well, a lot of these cracks, right, come from, I keep on forgetting the word, it's called checks. I have to read it. After 15 years, you still learn new things every day. But no, they usually come from two places. One is from the checks, where the barks and all grow, where a different limb grew, and also where we cut. Usually whenever you cut, right, people would think that moisture dissipates from the surface, but actually it's wrong. It's from the edge of the surface. Most of it will actually go, this is a cookie. This was cut when the tree was going up straight and it was cut this way. The slabs, the tree is put horizontally on the ground and we go horizontally on it. Or you could say we are cutting vertically in slices. So a lot of the moisture actually runs away from here. So whenever you see live edge slabs, you'll see the cracks on the ends. So what we do on that is one of the oldest tricks in the world. It's called a key. Now this key is shaped in many ways, but the most basic is called a bow tie or a butterfly. The butterfly is shaped in such a way that when you put this key on the inside, the timber can't expand anymore, right? Because the joint gets tighter. Every time it wants to go out, there's a bigger piece at the back. So when the bigger piece is at the back, it can't expand anymore. So they are done to stabilize the timber and make sure that the crack doesn't follow. And yeah, keep it in place. I personally do not like any slabs that have no cracks or keys in it, because I think that brings up a lot of the character and it's fun, again, as just visually and also by touch, to have an element that is not plain Jane, curvy and defected, but in a beautiful way. Another question that I'm oftenly asked is, can I use water to clean my table? The answer is yes, but not wet cloth, a damp cloth. This, what we use, is a hard wax finish. And now let's say you bought this from somebody else or whatever it is, and you have a piece of timber. Don't use a wet piece of cloth on it. Use a slightly damp that can just pick up the dust. That's all you need, is to pick up the dust, right? No chemicals, no nothing. That's it, just clean, damp cloth. In today's days, we are easy to get microfiber cloth, so just get a microfiber cloth. Damp it slightly, make sure it's not soaking, and just wipe the table. There should not be water remaining on the table after you wipe it. One of my favorite questions is, can you give me a slab in the shape that I want? More specifically, can you give it to me by 8 feet long, which I can do, but I would like it to be 36 all the way? The simple answer to that is no. What I can do for you is, the next time I talk to God, right, I'll be like, listen, I have this client. Jokes apart, this is a natural product. It grows on its own. That's the beauty of it. It has its own shape, it has its own character. So I can't really choose the shape that you would like. But what I can offer is the various amount of slabs that are available, and hopefully one of those shapes will catch your eye and it's 1 or 2 inches of tolerances is accepted by the client, and you can get something that you like. This is the technical question that people ask, the ones who actually know, and very few people ask this. Since it's live edge, does it move? The simple answer is yes. Seasonal movement within all timbers is something which is common, right? Whether it's KD dried wood, which means kiln dried, or it's just simply air dried. Timber with the seasons is going to move. But what I have learned through experience, and is heavily incorporated within Josmo, is that we've learned how to work with that wood, what sort of joineries to give it, what sort of C-channels and placements to give it around the legs to allow the seasonal movement to happen, but still not affect the timber. So the simple answer is yes, it'll move. Will you notice the move? Not at all. This question has never been asked directly to me, but apparently this question does get asked. So, can plants grow on my tree? The answer to that is you must be really neglecting your piece of timber for plants or anything to grow on it. Here we really treat our timber, it's thoroughly dried, so I don't see anything growing on it. But if something like that has happened and you have suddenly a mushroom growing on this, my friend, we need to have a conversation, because I don't think you're very clean. But as long as it's constantly cleaned, we're all good. And that brings us to the next question. Does mold grow on my wood? Well, I can't say no, because I've got liveage in my house too. I've got liveage in my house too in multiple rooms. There are certain rooms during the rainy season that mold does come on, but there are also certain rooms that no mold comes on. And if you've guessed it, the mold should be coming in the room that has got more moisture, which is your AC room. So what happens is that during the monsoon, the moisture levels in the air are really high. We've got high levels of moisture, then we've got the AC, there's a lot of condensation, and we've got little water molecules and all growing on the sides. And that is an area where mold starts growing. But don't worry, because we've got a finish on there which is a hard wax, right? You can just take a damp cloth, wipe off the mold. Just make sure you wash your hands after that. But nothing happens to it. It's a natural product because we don't put plastic on a piece of wood. And you can actually feel the timber, you know? You're not feeling any polyurethane on this, right? Any sort of a melamine or anything. And so hence the mold likes to attach to it. But again, as I told you, I've had it for years, just wipe it off. Our clients have had it for years, they just wipe it off and it's all good. I hope this session has helped and that you're a little bit more informed about liveage, where it comes from, how we cut it, how we dry it, how do we finish it, and what all of these little flaws or characteristics are all about. But however, if you still have more questions, leave us a comment down and we will get back to you. This is Tony, signing out.